One of the things about Massacre Worm is not Elish Norn, but it's got a momentary Elish Norn effect.
Yeah.
With a little bit of a bonus thrown in.
Massacre Worm is not Elish Norn. That is one way to put it. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else really sort of spicy from these decks. Sever the Bloodline may be making another appearance today. It's a card that, reminiscent of Maelstrom Pulse, kind of punishes your opponent for specific deck building choices and things like that.
It's like a Maelstrom Pulse Chainer's Edict cross pollination. Like if they were to make a card together.
Mm-hmm. I just have memories of Maelstrom Pulse making all these aggro decks play like 3/3/2 splits of their 2-drops.
Ponder from Dylan Evans.
Yeah, Sever the Bloodline, something that I haven't really seen. I mean, that's out of the board, so we'll see if it comes in here. Probably won't, but
I'm going to root as a non-impartial cheerleader for Zach Hicks because I'm excited about 3 Massacre Worms. I want to see what they do.
Well, I want the Delver player to win. That's what I got. Zach Hicks just has a Dark Slick Shores. Yeah, I don't know. There's no main deck Oblivion Rings for Dylan, so a stuck Heartless stays on board. He has a basic Plains here.
And a pass.
Yeah. Looks like he has a Vapor Snag, Geist of Saint Traft, Gut Shot, and a Sword of War and Peace in another land. So that's about where he's going to be this game. Sort of playing this Geist, trying to force it through a couple times, maybe hooking up a sword on the last one for lethal. Where Zach looks to be no Heartless Summoning, trying to ramp up into a Titan sort of blue-black, I don't want to say Wolf Run style, but Dylan draws a card. It's a Glacial Fortress.
Only 2 Sphere of the Suns in Zach's deck.
Yes.
They're functioning as bad Heartless Summonings, essentially.
Yeah. That's one of my issues with this list is that there's no backup plan to Heartless Summoning. You either have it, or you're just sort of sitting around and hoping to cast some Titans off of a couple Spheres and Solemns, which is not quite enough.
Here's a Geist. Zach says, okay.
Zach actually does not... He does have 4 clones. He doesn't have any spells that answer it, though.
I mean, he could throw a Solemn Simulacrum down to chump it. And not even chump, to trade.
There's a...
Heartless,
there we
go.
Heartless.
And maybe a Solemn to follow?
Probably. It could also be an Entomb or Exarch.
There's a Solemn. This Solemn will not now trade with the Geist.
It will probably get gut-shotted. Would be my assumption.
Yeah. I don't even know if you need to gut-shot it, honestly. I mean, getting 2 extra damage in is not a big deal.
Sure, maybe not giving... The gut-shot at most... Gut-shot's very bad in this matchup. I wouldn't expect it to be worth more than the 1 damage it is in my hand.
Well, I mean, it could kill an image, for example.
That's true. It's possible that, though, by the point that he has images, this is not super relevant to be gut-shotting. He still has the Vapor Snag for that, especially because you probably want to go Metamorph Chain over images. Though I guess he has enough mana to potentially not have to pay life, so...
3 mana before combat. Maybe not.
Considering dropping this War and Peace.
You might as well just attack, he says. What you got? Here's my angel. Oh, you got anything first? Nope. Okay, here's my angel. And the block. 4 damage.
Takes 1 for the team, or more accurately, 2 damage for the team. Angel token 4 to the face. Zach dropping down to 16. But he has this Heartless Summoning in play that's going to make things get a little wild here.
Sword go. Actually, I think I would have preferred if he had not cast the Heartless Summoning this last turn and just cast the Solemn. I mean, the 2 mana now or later, it's the same difference. Well, no, it's in play. I'm wrong. I'll take that back.
Yeah, it would cost him 2 mana this turn. So Zach has
he can do 7 now.
Yeah.
7 mana.
Dylan representing his Vapor Snag in hand. But Zach has 6 mana and the ability to cast a lot of things in his deck. Frost Titan, Massacre Worm, Haven Gold Lich, Runescar Demon, Wormcoil Engine. Could just be any one of a
He can actually cast all of his creatures in his deck.
Yes. There's the Phantasmal Image taking down the Geist.
That's good. What you gonna do? Oh, maybe not good. Vapor Snag. That's an awesome response from Dylan Evans.
1 to myself, but effectively killing your Phantasmal Image.
Saving his own Geist.
Now Zach has free reign of the board, and any one of these 6 drops could be immediately lethal. And that's a Frost Titan tapping down the Glacial Fortress.
Ouch.
Fortunately, Geist is hexproof, so he won't be able to stop that with the Frost Titan, but
He has to have the white for it, though, and he does. Does he have a plains?
there is a Plains. in play.
Okay. There's
Geist
the
coming back
Geist.
down. Dillion with Seachrome Coast of the turn goes to 5 lands in play, a Geist and a Sword to Zach Hicks's Frost Titan and Heartless Summoning. Zach presumably has a lot of options right here. Dillion still has this Gut Shot in hand. Oh no. Which one is this?
For
That looks like a Massacre Worm mana. Yep. Massacre Worm takes Dillion down to... Oh, Mutagenic Growth, saving the Geist. Taking him down to 17 regardless, but this Geist is not going to go to the graveyard this turn. Still looks like a bit of a bind here. A couple Mythic Rare 6 drops facing down against just a 2... Well, not just a 2/2, but I don't think that Geist is going to
oh, look at this.
Oh, no.
Second Massacre Worm.
Metamorph the Massacre Worm. Dillion drops a 13 when both of them trigger. And then this Frost Titan's going to put him to 8.
Boom.
Locking down the Glacial Fortress again. And that, I think that's game. I
Yeah.
don't know what Dillion can do to get out of this. 4 mana up. No Day of Judgment to be seen in his deck list. Zach Hicks with 15 power on board.
Scoop.
Going to game 2. Heartless Summoning up a game. So, Zach Hicks on the board has Ratchet Bombs, which he may or may not bring in. He saw Geist, so that would signal the more traditional kind of Delver deck. I don't know if I'd want that against him. Mimic Vat seems a little clunky. Definitely don't want Wormcoil Engine against a Vapor Snag deck. Nile Spellbomb. I've heard arguments against it against Snapcaster decks in general, but I don't know if I like it. Don't know if I want Sever the Bloodline. Actually, I don't know if Zach boards as much. Probably another Metamorph for the Geist. I'd probably board in the 5th Clone Effect just as a way to kill Geist.
I don't mind Metamorph at all. And honestly, I actually think that Ratchet Bomb is one of your best weapons in this matchup to stop an early Delver just so that you can get yourself going. I mean,
I'd rather have... I think the Tragic Slips are enough to beat a Delver. I don't like Ratchet Bomb against any of the other threats. I don't think the game's going long enough for Moorland Haunt to really get there. So you're looking at Ratchet Bomb trying to kill 2s and 3s, and I don't think that's really
there
how you're
are
gonna...
there are 4 Midnight Hauntings and Delver. So I mean, like, if you don't have the Tragic Slip in your hand, like, immediately, the Delver can flip, and then the Tragic Slip doesn't do the work.
I guess. I don't know. Midnight Haunting, I don't know if that's really... I'll take a look at some of the Pro Tour lists, but Midnight Haunting has been in and out from time to time, and just being straight blue-white Delver doesn't necessarily signify that
That's fair.
you're going to be making tokens.
But I mean, we don't... does Zach... Did he see enough... Yeah, he did see enough basics to have a sense that it's blue-white Delver.
Well, he saw the Geist, which is the real signifier.
Yeah.
We saw earlier the
Well, I mean,
the
I
Esper deck
think
with Geist,
that
but
many basic
that's not
lands...
standard.
That many basic lands, I think, is a pretty
Yeah.
reasonable signifier. I mean,
Especially without a...
he didn't do any real...
no Evolving Wilds,
or anything
no
like that.
Darkslick Shores.
Yeah.
See, it looks like, just looking at deck list real fast, yeah, I'm not seeing a lot of Midnight Hauntings in the deck list. I think that was more of, I guess he doesn't know if he's Pike or not, but that was more of a thing when Pike was around as a way to get evasive bodies. But with Sword, anything's evasion. Mutagenic Growth also might signal Porcelain Legionnaires. But let's look at Dylan's side. He definitely wants Phantasmal Image. That we know. Probably wants Negate for these Heartless Summonings. Probably wants Celestial Purge. Maybe wants Revoke Existence. Don't think he wants Day of Judgment, Surgical Extraction, or Basic Planes.
Okay, I slightly disagree with you, I guess.
Actually, he might want Basic
I
Planes.
don't like Negate so much because you can have your opponent already have a Heartless Summoning down, and then your negate pretty much does very little against the rest of their deck.
That's true. He does only have 14 spells,
right?
And 4 of those are ponders.
Yeah. So I mean, Mana Leak can catch the expensive, cheaper-fied version,
right?
So you keeping that in. Celestial Purge I like because you can get the Heartless Summoning after the fact, or you can kill a creature like a Massacre Worm or a Runescar Demon, which you can kind of expect. So I like the Celestial Purge as his version of an answer to Heartless Summoning. Definitely like Phantasmal Image for the reasons you described, but I think Day of Judgment might be a reasonable card to bring in here, because if things get out from your control, you have no outs otherwise.
I think that you can't put in Day of Judgment though, because like you're talking about putting yourself back into a game where you're already behind.
Yeah.
But like once you Day of Judgment, they're probably ahead because the Delver deck doesn't really long game very well.
I agree with that. I think that it's just one of those things where you suck it up and do it as a game B or a plan B for your game.
But my issue with it is that it puts you from very behind to pretty far behind, as opposed to behind to potentially winning. So
what's the thing that gives you the potential? I mean, essentially, we're talking about the bad part of Day of Judgment is your good games get worse, right?
Right. I'd rather just play to kill them as opposed to play to lose less. That's why I see Day of Judgment is a way to lose less. Let's see. No, but I definitely would want one Revoke Existence, especially because we saw Sphere of the Suns. So that signifies that there's some number. Oh, you can also hit a Metamorph. I probably want a Revoke Existence. Probably not all of them, but just one's probably good enough.
I actually like, by that logic, actually, I do like at least one Day of Judgment for this reason. If I'm copying, for example, a Runescar Demon, I can go get the day if I need it. You know, like, your opponent's going to have Runescar Demon. Being able to
tutor... Are you going to
tutor...
have 6 to play? Dillion mulls to 6, by the way. And it looks like Zach's keeping.
I mean, like, they might not draw their Runescar Demon, but you can be pretty confident that if they're a Heartless Summoning deck, that they are a Runescar Demon deck.
I don't know about that. They could just have the Perilous Mirror combo.
I've never seen a Heartless Summoning deck that
just
didn't have Runescar Demon.
That's fair. That's fair.
I shouldn't say never. Not since...
They played Architect.
Yes.
That was the build that didn't have Runescar Demon. Let's see here. Dillion's still shuffling up.
Now, the Architect build is the greedy build. I like to think of it as the greedy build.
Really?
Which tries to drop 5/6s, generally, right? Like, that's the reason. You've got the Heartless Summoning and the Architect as the make the 5/6. What is that guy's name?
Mir Superion.
Mir Superion. There we are.
Yeah. I actually thought of that as the reliable build, because you have 8 ways to do this instead of just 4 Heartless Summonings. And
the reason I think of it as the greedy build is because I think
that
the Superion requires another card to even be playable.
So you're playing a card that's essentially dead unless you're doing
your job.
The way I viewed it was that if the deck wasn't doing the job, you weren't winning anyways. So the games that you weren't going to win were the ones where Superion was dead, and the games where you were actually doing what your deck was supposed to do were the ones where it was good.
So, like, I mean, I guess your assessment of if you're not doing what your deck's doing, you're dead. I don't think that's necessarily true, because you can put defenses into your deck. So the game is underway. Dillion, or is it Dillion or
Dillion?
It's Dillion. It's Dillion.
Okay.
Dillion turn 1 land versus Zach Hicks turn 1 land.
No Delver to be seen. Dillion's gonna play. That looks like a Delver on 2, right on not time, I guess. Does Zach have the summoning? Just a Perilous Mirror. See if the Delver flips now. Does not. Looks like it was a Snapcaster maybe.
Yeah, I agree.
Dillion probably dropping Geist of Saint Trapped right here. Perilous Mirror, not so great against that one. Let's see. Yeah, that's the single Perilous Mirror in Zach's deck. Not very heavy focused. Buried Rune for Zach. That's something that I thought was very good. It looks like a Metamorph that's going to take down the Geist, putting Zach to 18. But Buried Rune kind of really shines in this deck as a way to recycle all of your giant monsters.
One of the things I saw in the red builds of Heartless Summoning that I thought was interesting is the new Dark Ascension random creature return. Can't think of the name of it right now. Sacrifice your land, get a random creature from your yard back to your hand.
Haven Goal, I don't remember, so I have to look it up. Fangraph. Looks like Dillion did not flip his Delver.
And we see an original Gens Thorin, the Solemn Simulacrum.
Yeah. It looks like Delver also got in without being blocked by the Perilous Mirror. I don't see a Moorland Haunt, so I'm just kind of interested why the Perilous Mirror decided not to trade down for the Delver while it could. Maybe just looking for a little bit of advantage.
He might be wanting to theoretically have a block and then shoot the air.
Sure.
But, I mean, that seems pretty
the Delver
ambitious.
Is the, oh, there's the Day of Judgment you were talking about. Reveals it to a Delver. Getting in for 3. Zach drops to 14.
Like I said, I think that Zach might be being a little greedy here. Because, I mean...
Well, he might have a lot of counters. He just passed with no plays. He does have Snapcaster Mage in hand. Looks like Celestial Purge, Snapcaster, Day of Judgment, and some other card. Zach plays a 6 land and suddenly gets into this sort of Titan Massacre Worm range. Things start getting scary for Dillion. Just a Metamorph, though. Nothing too scary.
Metamorphing the insect.
Delver. Yeah, 3/2 flying. It, in fact, copies the side that is currently face up.
Sits back, doesn't attack with anything.
I don't know about that. I think you'd have to get in the damage, even if it doesn't matter.
I might, like, the way that would be bad is if he If he
Slash
Vapor
Panthers?
Snags and then Snapcasters? The Snapcaster hitting is the thing that would be problematic.
Potentially getting Goblin Pikered.
Yeah.
Or Core Morfolk, my bad. Let's see. Dylan's sitting here trying to figure out... Looks like he has another Delver in hand, but... don't think he wants to just attack just yet. Could potentially draw some sort of removal spell. He is extending into his own Day of Judgment.
Returns the Metamorph.
Yep, Buried Rune. Only 2 to return an artifact. Very powerful effect. Zach draws a card. Let's see. Yeah, I definitely would have attacked last turn, but here they come in this turn. Perilous Mirror threatening to 2 for 1. Solemn also 2 for 1ing on top of the other card it got. And Dillion drops down a couple life here. Zach Hicks has a tapped Darkslick Shores. Another Solemn. Mediocre beats all day long. Some 2/2s, some 1/1s, and a Snapping Drake on defense. Is that a second Day of Judgment in Dillion's hand? That might be. He might have just boarded in both of them and drawn both of them.
Weakens his aggro drop.
Yeah.
That's the critique of the thing. I don't buy... That's the primary critique of the thing. I don't buy your secondary critique of it. And there's the Ponder.
There's a Ponder to flip his other Delver, but Day of Judgment's not going to do anything here. If he Day of Judgments, he just goes down 2 cards and takes 2. Ponder away. Let's see. Zach's at 12. If he gets a Vapor Snag, could be lethal almost immediately.
I see a Snapcaster. I think I see a Mana Leak.
Yep. He's keeping them. That's a Vapor Snag.
That's a Vapor Snag.
That is what he wanted.
And get out of here, little flyer.
Yep. Zach Hicks dropping down to 5 from this attack, presumably.
And here he comes, threatening a kill next turn.
Yeah, unless Zach has Massacre Worm or a Black Sun Zenith in his board, or a Sever the Bloodline would take out both Insectile Abominations.
And Sever would actually get past the Mana Leak that I think is in Dillion's hand. Black Sun Zenith also would get past that Mana Leak.
Yeah. Well, I think the Mana Leak was still on top.
Oh, okay. I think
he drew the Vapor Snag. That is 5. Dillion going down to 10. Could be at 7, but I don't know if that changes the course of the game or not.
Players in
Is that a
Commander
Runes
number
card?
3, please report to Silence area.
Could be a Runes
Again,
card.
players in Commander number 3 to the Silence area.
Metamorph. He says that's okay. Copies the insect.
Yep.
Metamorph. Copies the insect.
Yep.
Are we gonna?
2/3/2 flyers on each side.
We know there's a Snapcaster upcoming. but it doesn't actually provide the kill. It would knock Zach to 1.
Got some dueling flies over here. I think you, this might be the point where you, I don't think you can Day of Judgment here. It's just...
There's the Snapcaster for the snag. Snag for one of the flyers. Can come in and knock Zach down to 1.
We know the top part of the deck is Mana Leak, though, so I don't know if that's going to do it. We'll see. We'll see if we can get that 1 through before this robot beatdown crew assembles the full 20.
And we've got dead flies.
Metamorph copy trades with the regular Delver.
Standard win box number 2.
The board is a Delver and a Snapcaster to 2 Solemns and a Perilous Mirror. Both players having a bunch of lands.
Zach at 1, Dillion at 10.
Zach drops his 9th land. He's going to recast the Metamorph this turn for sure, but I can't see what else he has. Is that a Tragic Slip? He might have a Tragic Slip.
I cannot tell. Worth noting that with only 1 mana open, Zach can cast anything he wants, and it's going to work out.
Yeah, Dillon's 1 mana is not going to counter anything. And if he has the Vapor Snag, dead anyways. Dillion can Wrath Away the board, which, interestingly, if Zach had attacked that 1 turn... Ooh, that is a Runescar Demon. Yeah, if Zach had attacked that 1 turn, Dillion would be unable to Wrath next turn, because it would be 3 more damage plus the 5 this turn, putting Dillion at 2 and dead to a Perilous Mirror trigger. Interesting.
Zach comes in for 5.
Yeah.
Now remember, Zach knows. He's seen it. Zach knows that there is
second Tragic Slip,
wow.
Probably off the Runescar Demon.
Yep. Zach knows that there is a Wrath of God, or sorry, Day of Judgment in Dillon's hand.
Yeah. I mean, he has a Metamorph to back it up, and he still gets to trigger Solemns, but I don't know what else he has in hand.
And we're going to see the day from Dillion.
For sure.
Unless he drew a Vapor Snag.
Well, we know he didn't because he left the cards on top of his deck.
Right.
Or
I think it's a Mana Leak that he has on top.
This is the last call for 2
have we gone? Yeah, it was Mana Leak.
Yeah.
This was the last turn of the Ponder.
Not yet signed up. Come on to the silence area right
Day of
now.
Judgment for some negative card advantage,
And
basically.
I believe that's not negative card advantage. He's ahead. Or is it?
He killed 2 Solemns. Those aren't really cards. Draws 2
Right.
off the Solemns.
So I mean, he's ahead. He's ahead 2 to 1. He killed a Runescar and a
I was counting the Solemn lines.
yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
If you count them, he's still ahead. He loses 1. His opponent loses 2.
Zach Hicks with... Is that 10 mana? That's a Worm Coil engine.
Ouch.
That is not getting Wrath of Godded.
That's 2 Worm
That is
Coil
2 Worm
engines.
Coil engines.
And Dillion here basically
1 turn
needs
to draw a Vapor
Snag.
And...
Christian
Double checking.
Poole in commander number 3.
Snapcaster that Ponder.
Please report to the side of this area. Christian Poole, commander number 3.
Oh, Doctor.
See what happens.
He's
Spin the
got
wheel.
4 cards he can look to here. The 3 initially. And then the
Nope.
shuffle.
Now, again, if Zach had attacked that 1 turn, that would have been that 3 damage, and Dillion would not have had this 1 draw to get there.
Oh. What will it be? If he left in Gut Shot, a Gut Shot will also do it.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have left in Gut Shot.
I don't know
here,
if I would have
but
left in
it
Gut
would do
Shot,
it.
but it would do it.
He has the old 4 Gut Shots from a couple months ago, back when everyone was on these traditional Delver decks, and you just wanted to kill the Delvers. And
Okay.
all the
Will he do a
one-offs.
wrap on the top of the library here? Or just flip it over?
Flip it. Come on, flip it. Negate, and that is a match.
That is a match. He does at least do the flip, even if it was not a flip that he won.
Yes. Dillion misses the gut shot or Vapor Snag off the top and falls 2-0 to Heartless Summoning with Delver.